Hello, my lovely hummingbirds. Yeah, the Harley Quinn's gone. I know. Crazy. Welcome to another episode of Makeup and Motivation. Here with all your lovely hosts, Monroe. Today's episode of Makeup and Motivation here on Pop Culture. I mentioned to you guys that this week we are going to be covering Wednesday for the rated episode on Wednesday. Which is true, we are doing that, but for the theme, this week, since we talked last week about the anti-hero complex and what that means in the journey of self-love, this week we are talking about going numb. And for the Wednesday week, the theme is going to be every day. It's gonna be the whole, the poem, Monday's child is a fair face, I think is what it said. Yes, Monday's child is fair of face. So how is that going to go with numbness? Well, we're gonna get into that, but first we're gonna do this gorgeous makeup look, and yeah, let's get started, shall we?
Hello, my lovely hummingbirds. How's it going? To kick off this look, we're gonna go in with the Modern Renaissance palette, as well as the LimeCrime Prelude Exposed, and we're gonna start off with Raw Sienna on the brow bone area. Not the brow bone, but you know what I mean, above the crease. Once you've gone ahead and done that, we're going to go in with the shade Storm from the LimeCrime palette, and we're going to put that all in the crease area just to really darken it and give it a little bit of depth. Alright, once we've gone ahead and done that, we're going to go in with Tempera, and we're going to put that on the upper brow bone area, right underneath your eyebrow, just to kind of fluff it out a little bit. Now up next, we're going to go in with both Burnt Orange and Primavera. Now for Primavera, we are going to go and use that shiny, sparkly, golden shade on our eyelids. Just so we can sparkle a little more. And now that we're all glitzy, we're going to go in with that burnt orange, and we're just going to accentuate what we had originally done there on the brow bone area and fluff it out a little bit with our fingertips just to give it a slight smoky effect. Yes, I did base this look off my cheetah print headband. that we've gone ahead and done that, I'm going to go ahead and put on the rest of my face. But in the meantime, you can follow me on all of my handles. And there she is. It's giving. It's not a phase, Mom. It's giving. Oh my God, look at me. I'm dark and mysterious. It's giving. I really need some caffeine and probably some decent sleep. If this is where you're leaving me, les mando mucha paz, muchos besos. Y les recuerdo que miren hacia la luna. If this is where you're leaving me, as always, I send you much peace, money, kisses, and remind you to always look up at the moon. Catch y'all on the next one, but if you're sticking around, join me for the makeup and motivation episode of Monday's Child is a Fair Face. And yes, on the under eye, we used Love Letter from the Modern Renaissance palette.
So this is the look. Monday's Child is a Fair Face. And granted, in the poem, in the original poem, the reason for this in the Wednesday series, they ask Morticia states to Principal Weems that the reason that she picked Wednesday's name is because of a line from a poem that she said she felt so inspired because it says Wednesday's child is full of woe. We're following that theme for this week. The first line of that poem is Monday's child is of fair face. And for today's episode of Makeup and Motivation, we are going to be discussing what that means in regards to the journey of self-healing, in regards to going numb. Numbness is essentially that doesn't even fucking matter attitude. But not in a sense of like just self-sabotaging chaos. This hits during the periods of self-sabotage or after the fact. When we are in a state of, well, essentially that we're not okay. When we are in a state when it feels like we're 20 feet deep and drowning in all this shit, and the emotions get too hard and become too many, it feels so easy to just shut it off. Why is it for this week that is the theme and all that? Monroe, we're getting so close to Valentine's Day. Why are you torturing us? Well, not that I intend to. One of the things that I find very intriguing about the series as a whole is Wednesday's issue with having emotions and showing affection to a level that, well, the rest of us understand, right? I think that her parents, while I love Gomez and Morticia, and I love that love, and let me tell you, it's the kind of love a girl is out here holding out for. I think that to some degree, like, you know how they say that, like, if you have a lack of love, you end up trying to overcompensate to fill that void. I think for her, there was just so much of it around all the time that she was like, nah, right? The reason that all of this is called Monday's Child is of Fair Face. How many times have you had to hold face or save face in situations that you were very uncomfortable in? And you put up a mask, and the mask becomes a brick, and the brick becomes a wall, and then all of a sudden you are in a steel vault of your own emotions, thoughts, and self-made endless cycles of patterns of thoughts that are not always the kindest to yourself. Monday's Child is a fair face. In regards to numbness, to me that means showing the world that everything is all right surface level, but then deep down you are just Pandora's box waiting to break open with all these emotions and all this heavy shit that you've been suffocating downward. because it's too much to let it out forward. When we embark on the journey of self-healing and self-love, in order to then expand our love to the outer world, we have to drop the mask. We have to stop having this portrayal of everything's all right, everything's fine, it's all gonna be a-okay. And really it's not. You know, it is hard. It is. And I mentioned it before on here. How the hell am I supposed to know how to love if I've never experienced it before? But have you given yourself the equal opportunity? Have you been fair with yourself to give you the saving grace that you give everybody else? Now, I'm not saying you can't be, because like healing never ends, and I will keep repeating this. The healing journey really truly is never over. There's just always new lessons, new things, all this stuff. You'll see my little blue screen on this end. Yes, I have a green screen and a blue screen. Reason for that being, it was a deal on Amazon. But no, also I was like really digging into, total tangent here, really digging into how different screens reflect differently on different types of clothing, different colors of clothing, all this stuff. So that's why different screens. I don't know who that was for, but that helps. Yeah, that was random. This is not a grain of salt. We are not just gonna start intuitively. Well, I guess I do just intuitively channel for makeup and motivation too. I don't know. I like to lie to myself. Which goes in line perfectly with this. Where are we lying to ourselves? Where, my lovely hummingbirds, are we putting on a brave face, a funny face, a happy face, a in love face, a everything is okay face, when really we need to take a fucking moment and sit there in the dark, gloomy of feelings and acknowledge that those feelings are there for a reason, and they're just as important as the feelings that we crave to feel. I've mentioned the plateau on here before, where happiness is one of many emotions, but really the purpose of, well, healing in therapy is to raise the plateau, is to raise your neutral, essentially. I need you to, this week, and I'm gonna do it too. But I'm gonna need you to write out a list of things that you do when you're angry, when you're sad, when you're upset, when you're hurt, when you have that sensation of, oh my god, fuck this, I'm giving up, the fuck it's. You remember those? And then, when you write out the things that you do, pick out the things that are a mask. Be real open, be real honest, be real raw with yourself. Life might not be fair, but you should definitely be able to give yourself that saving grace. Especially because when it comes to love and relationships and healing, you can't be out here not completely and genuinely yourself, because that'll only bring in more of what's already been there, and that's not what you want, right? So stop saving face and give yourself the grace that you give everyone else. I know today was a much shorter episode of makeup and motivation, but that is that for this one. It's simple. drop the mask. And if you're not okay, it's okay to say, hey, I'm not good right now. Hey, I need time right now. Hey, you know what? You're being a bitch. Hey, you know what? That pissed me the fuck off. And then, you know, do you have this discussion, beautiful discussion with yourself? Analyze if it was the outer world's actions that put you in this place, or was it an insecurity within yourself and the feeling of a need that you have to hold a certain face to be a fair face in order to feel accepted? 10-10 as I looked at my thing. Lord. Or is it because you're doing it? Are you doing it? Is it because you are under the belief that if you do this, that's the only way that you'll be able to be truly loved? Because trust me, baby, it's not. Take down those walls. Take down those masks. Be you. And learn to love you in your entirety. Every nook and cranny, every good, every bad. Because you're perfect exactly as you are. As flawed, as imperfect, as all that shit. And someone is going to love you exactly as you are. Okay? I love you, my lovely hummingbirds. That is all for this episode. I know, it's a short one today. As always, les mando mucha paz, muchos besos, y les recuerdo que miren hacia la luna, sending you much peace, many kisses, and reminding you to always look up at the moon. I love you all so much, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye. But I'm serious, make that list, okay? Bye.